everybody, this is Jason Artiga, and this is another episode of Cinema Macabro. Today's episode is a special episode. I'll talk to you about Dead Star, a collaboration between William Malone and H.R. Giger on a film that was called Hellraiser and Dead Calm in Space. Now, let me get started on talking about William Malone. He directed a film called Scared to Death in 1979, and the cover was so damn scary that when I saw it in a VHS store back in the 80s, I rented it, and the movie was actually scary. And the film was a mega low budget film shot on double digits, and the movie made a shitload of money overseas in Malaysia for distribution over there. So, Scared to Death, the cover had this biomechanoid creature about to give this woman a fatal kiss. And it was like really scary and really disturbing. And the fact that the creature almost looked identical to Alien, however, it was, in my opinion, the face is a little scarier. And William Malone, a year before, worked on Alien, and he worked for Danpo Studios, and he basically sculpted the alien facehugger under the supervision of H.R. Giger. The two became friends, and later on, William Malone was approached by MGM. He ended up getting a budget of $750,000 to do the alien clone called Creature. Now, Creature's an impressive film because it has a unique twist to like the whole Alien movies. And for an Alien ripoff, this movie had zombies. It had a really good mind-controlling parasite. The creature can like basically bring the dead back to life, and it had like a lot of great special effects by Robert Skotak, who did the interiors and also worked on Aliens. Fantasy 2 effects miniatures were awesome, and really good matte paintings that pretty much made a $750,000 budget movie look like $10 million. From then on, there was a gap of films that there's a gap between the films that William Malone did in the 90s, but he did continue to work on TV and work doing episodes of Tales from the Crypt and other anthology series. It wasn't until about 1990 he was approached by Imperial Entertainment, who wanted him to do a horror film or a sci-fi film. William Malone's idea was to make Dead Calm and Hellraiser, combine the two and make it in space. His idea? Dead Star. And Dead Star was a really great idea of Satan in space. And I know that this film has been explored before in Event Horizon. However, this was done years before. William Malone decided to contact Hans Rudolf Geiger in Switzerland and offer him about 10,000 Swiss francs to do a mock-up of the poster, so that way he can show producers. And what Geiger did was he basically gave numerous drawings and concepts for this movie. So it went beyond Geiger making a poster. Geiger just started doing lots of concepts for this film. And it's amazing because it went from one day meeting to 10 days watching Geiger work passionately on William Malone's project. Dead Star has a similar premise to Event Horizon and the video game Dead Space. The film takes place in 2239, and a Captain Tennyson is about to go on an expedition on his ship the Bellerophon, looking for an archaeologist that killed his wife. During his expedition, it leads him to the planet Deveros, and in Deveros, a group of astronauts have found an alien technology, an ain't like of a long dead alien race on the planet. They bring the machine with them on the ship, and what ends up happening is the crazed archaeologist sneaks aboard the ship, and in the beginning The crew starts to get some supernatural occurrence in the ship, and accidentally they turn on the machine, which is called the Thanatron. The Thanatron is like this huge machine that looks like a pipe organ. It looks like it's made out of pipe organs. Very biomechanical, very reminiscent of H.R. Giger's work in the Necromonicon and his earlier works before Alien. So they turn it on, and the crew starts to feel they start to feel the effects of the machine, which includes hallucinations. Pretty much they start to go mad slowly, and a lot of you guys are thinking Dead Space and Event Horizon, but I will get back to that. So they start to feel this supernatural occurrence, and it turns out that the machine opens a portal to hell inside the ship, and they start to experience what hell is inside the ship, and they try to survive their journey with this machine on. And it turns out that the machine is actually Satan himself, and Satan is this huge giant when he gets up, a huge giant with these giant biomechanical horns and these slots all over his body, and the slots have like faces of people in agony, which at the time Giger considered male slots. He called them male slots, and he wanted different orifices at one time of mouths, eyes, ear holes, and assholes, and it was a really crazy concept. And this film, had it been made, it would have been awesome. However, producers took wind, and they looked at the script and they said there's no way this film is going to be made, because it's pretty high concept. It's not your standard sci-fi horror like Creature or any other Alien ripoff. This is something totally unique that blends in Dead Calm with Hellraiser in space. What ended up happening was the script got sold to MGM, and MGM wanted to make the film, but not with Malone. And Malone originally wanted $10 million to do this film. And producers were like, no, this film is going to take more than $10 million. But they forget Malone's work on Creature on a $750,000 budget, making it look 10 times his budget and making a profit off that movie as well. Now, what ends up happening is now they hire another writer aboard, and they change the name from Dead Star to Supernova. They hire Walter Hill, and the studio, MGM, interferes with the making of the film. This is one of these films that gets sabotaged by producers. And what happens? Walter Hill walks away from the film, gets the equivalent of an Alan Smithy, Thomas Lee in this case, and the film basically was a flop. Had William Malone's original version been done, it would have been a much better film. However, not even 10% of William Malone's ideas from Dead Star ever made it, and he still got a writer's credit for Supernova. And it's a sad thing, because the collaboration between H.R. Giger and William Malone was amazing. These guys worked on the film for basically 10 days over concepts, and Giger took this really serious. But ultimately, towards the end, he knew that this film needed a bigger budget, bigger than $10 million to do, because it was a high concept sci-fi film, and that's one of the reasons producers shut this film down in advance. Basically, changed the film to your typical Hollywood sci-fi film that even the director who took over, and a well-known director at that, walked out from. If this film would have been made, it would have predated Event Horizon and the video game Dead Space, being that they share similar formulas. In Event Horizon, the black hole, Dr. Weir's black hole engine is very much like the Thanatron. It does the same thing. It opens up the portal to hell. And the same can be said about Dead Space, the obelisk that they find, which is kind of borrowed from 2001's Monolith, is, lets out the evil and drives people mad slowly, just like Dead Space. And unfortunately, the film never got to be made, and who knows if this film would ever be brought up again. I doubt they would give William Malone money to do this film, and he's an amazing director. He went on to direct a really decent budget remake of House on Haunted Hill, Fear.com, and he went back to low budget films with Parasomnia, which is actually a very good film, and shows that William Malone can work on a low budget and make a film look twice its budget, three times its budget. So that's it. Dead Star, the film that never got made.